Alright, welcome to Faded Frames. Today I'm going to show you some ways to do anatomy. We're going to start with a simple sketch of a stick figure. Alright, let's begin this. We got our head right here. It's a bit too messy of a circle. Alright, we got our stick figure head. And then what I do is I start with a neck joint and I continue that down. And then right down here is going to be our kind of pelvic area. Actually, we'll do that later. Alright, so now to do shoulder blades, you can do it kind of like a triangular little piece. I've learned that, like I've taught myself that. After you got that, kind of draw like, in a way, a half circle. Yeah, like that. Don't make them too big or too broad. If you want to make it broad, you can, but I like. Yeah, see that we messed up already. I'm not the best at this, but I'll try my hardest. Start with the left first, because from their perspective, this is their left. Alright, let's do that same thing, kind of draw, actually, a better way to say that would be draw a circle, but kind of squish it in just a bit. Do that same thing for this side. Alright, we got our two shoulder blades. And now, we need the pectoral muscles, or like the kind of chest muscles that go above the abs when you see like on Goku or something. This isn't scripted, so I'm saying all of this off the top of my head, and I'm sorry if some of it's cringy. But what you could do for these is, okay, remember our character's kind of at an angle. We'll do the head in a second. We'll get everything outlined and stuff, and we'll do the head in a second. I'm trying to get the head at an angle I want it to be at. We'll angle the head in a second. But, alright, let's continue. I get distracted easily. So what you could do for these, for your pectoral muscles, is kind of like this shape right here. I do like shapes like this sometimes. I don't use this all the time, but when I was learning it, doing something like that helped me. And I'll show you how to sculpt all this later. But right now we're doing the basics. Well, and I want to teach you as best I can everything I know up to where I've gotten. Alright, now we're gonna get this part done. This will be your abs. And there will be 6 of them, because you can have a 6-pack abs. Okay, we got that line. We're gonna go 1. We're gonna kind of arc this, because I don't really know how to explain it, but we will kind of arc that. And then, yep. Oh wait, no, I made that too long. I gave an 8-pack. We don't need an 8-pack over there. The wonderful world of art. We make mistakes. Alright. This is our 3-pack of, this is our 6-pack of abs. Notice how that's how I made the lines and I went down. When you're doing that, you can make like this shape there. And then we got, I want to draw this the best I can. It's a weird shape to draw. I'm not the best at drawing this one. But we got our pelvic area. Now, the legs. Leg anatomy's weird. I tend to just draw it how I draw like arms. But the way I draw legs is we got the thigh right here, and then here's the knee. And then we draw our bottom of the leg. We'll do the feet in a second. Let's continue. We're going to start with this arm first. We're going to make it right, we're going to make it come to about right here. Here's our elbow joint. And then here is our forearm leading down to our hand. And we're going to kind of replicate this for this side. Now, since our character is, I angled the character as best I can. Perspective is weird to say the least. I didn't angle him too much so we could see all of our, so you could see all of it, and well, how do I want to explain that? So you could see kind of all of it. Alright. So now, I'm going to grab back and finish the bathroom. Okay. start sculpting the arms. For your arms, do like for the bicep area and the tricep area, do like a cylinder kind of shape. So that for both arms. Alright. And now for I just do the kind of elbow. You're not gonna see this unless like it's really prominent. Like the arm is kind of like you got your arms like you're flexing almost. You're not gonna see it unless it's doing something like that. And the edges of your arm kind of come out like that, and it comes through and connects with the bicep. It looks weird, I know, but we gotta get everything kind of flushed out before we can make it look less weird. I'm not gonna do line art for this video because line art's like a difficult task in itself sometimes. Getting like the right kind of, I guess what I'm trying to say is line art is difficult, and getting the right kind of thickness and making it look good, kind of like the sketch. Okay, we got our forearms, biceps, and triceps muscles. Now this area right here, it looks weird. We will be kind of covering that up once I get everything kind of outlined and traced. Now I'm gonna go ahead and kind of put the back in here, because we're gonna be seeing a bit of the back. Now the thighs are kind of set. The legs and arms are more similar than you may think, the way they're constructed and the way you draw them, I mean. Now, alright, we got both our thighs right here. The knee is kind of weird because you see the knee mostly. Like you're gonna kind of see the knee. Now, sorry for the yelling in the background, that's my family. Now, nope, we screwed that knee up. No, that calf. Alright, crap, fit view. Okay. And now it looks weird now because of the stick figure sketch. But I showed you how to sculpt all this. Let's start sculpting the head. I'm gonna angle it kind of like this. Now there's a way I like to kind of sculpt my heads, and that's kind of, I learned this from like drawing anime characters, and it's kind of stuck with me. Now the ears, ears tend to be difficult tasks in themselves, but after practicing them for so long, if you want to, the way, I guess, like, because ears, I didn't practice them with shapes. I mainly just kind of drew them until I kept getting it right. Kind of do like a shape like this, and then after you do that, you kind of take it and then mold it into your ear. And after you like draw what you really want to draw after a long time, or not even after a really long time, just once you kind of practice it, you can practice different art styles. you'll start to find and like start making. If you start making your own characters, you'll start to find something that you like. You'll find the things that you like to draw. And those things really stick with you. Once you find what you draw, you'll start noticing. Because you'll start noticing after a while, like if you base that character. God, I can't get this head right. But if you base that character and draw in bet the character off of somebody and you draw that character and that show's art style or that person's art style, you'll start to notice subtle changes over time that you're starting to make it look more original to you. You'll start seeing that you're making it more to your liking, more how you're comfortable drawing. Again, sorry for the fan noise. I can't really do anything about that right now. If I said that earlier, I can't remember if I did or not. But getting this head right, it's a little difficult. Get all the curvature I want, or get it curved how I want it. Right, let's erase this inside of the face area. Again, this isn't perfect, it's just a rough idea of how anatomy is like. If you guys like to see like world building, I could do a video on that. And we like kind of build and construct the world. You guys can give me ideas for a world building series, or if you want to see more anatomy, let me know. I'm just gonna kind of construct this ear. You can construct it however you want. Alright, but there's our head. Alright. When you're drawing the neck, kind of like draw a cylinder, I guess. Yeah, a fat cylinder. And then, instead of copying this down, this side, yes, it is going to bulge out just a little bit. This side, don't have it bulge out just as much. And we'll have like some of this right here going into the pectorals. And then now that we got that, we can put our shoulder blades. Ooh, crap, I made that head way too big. Scratch everything. We gotta redo this head. I'm doing this in real life, that fast clicking. Okay. Now, to make this head an appropriate size. Now, add the ear line. Okay, that already looks 10 times better than that head we drew earlier, or the last head we had. Alright, I'm just gonna kind of re-sculpt this. We're gonna have this kind of bulge out. Yeah, see, it looks 10 times better. It's not perfect, but it'll do. Alright, now we need to remember to make this kind of bulge out just a little bit. I'll make it curve in too much. And kind of bulge out just a little bit, because then add that right there. Because you gotta have a little dip right here. See, right now we're getting. Actually, hold up. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna go here and we're gonna turn down the opacity. And then, alright, so now we got our opacity turned down. Actually, no. We need to do the hands and feet first. So yeah, keep our... Sorry about this. It's not... I didn't write a script for this video. I'm just saying whatever comes off the top of my head. We got that. Now hands. This will take a while for you to learn. It took a long time for me to kind of even get comfortable with them. Now you're not going to see the entire hand most of the time. You're only going to see a few fingers. Now I just drew that one. Like, I just drew this one. Didn't even like prepare anything for this. But I'm going to show you as best I can how to draw hands. And you're going to need kind of a fat kind of square here. Like it'll be a fat little cube. But you're only going to see about three of the fingers. So be prepared to kind of not see everything, every little finger, because you're not going to most of the time. You're only going to see maybe 1, 2, or 3 fingers, depending on how it's angled. At least from what I've kind of learned. Again, I'm not the best artist. I'm not a professional artist. I'm still currently 15. I'm turning 16 in like a month, like I said. And the hands are just something you kind of gotta work at and get them right. Kind of like how my grandma tells me, you gotta cook. You just can't gravy something you just gotta work at and work at. Cooking, making gravy. Let me resculpt this hand. Now, if you wanna make it to where you can see all the fingers, you can. It's better to draw it that way, but I'm just drawing it at an angle because. Wait, hold up, I messed up the hand. Now I will do like a video on hands later down the line, but for now I'm not going to, because I myself am not perfect at those yet.
Benny in here.
Alright. Now, let me darken these lines a good amount so I can actually see this thumb. Come on, let me go back to fit view. I'm satisfied with those hands currently. Like I said, I'm not going to do a video on hands for a little while. Now we can turn the opacity down. And let's turn it down just a little bit more. Now we can start sculpting everything we need to. Just gonna re-outline the head. Because the head right now is perfect. I'll do hair at a later date, like hair, eyes, nose, mouth. But right for the neck, kind of make it come down. Remember, this side kind of bulges out. We got that part. Now, our collarbone right there, that's too big of a collarbone. My bad. That works. Let me check my phone real quick. And then when you go to connect this to this collarbone to your shoulder, it's really easy. You just kind of like gotta lead a curve into it, and then we'll do the arms in a second. we're gonna do this collarbone over here. Again, here, I'll show you the better angle. Just curve into it. And yeah, alright. Alright, hold up. I messed it up. Alright. I'm gonna do the pectorals really quickly. Not everything's gonna be perfect on your first try doing anatomy. You just gotta keep working at it and keep like you can, if you need to, you can use like references. If it'll eventually get kind of stuck in your brain. That's how like certain things supposed to go, certain things look. Practice try drawing characters like that maybe are kind of built like Goku, Vegeta, someone like that, or just another built character, and kind of study how the arms is sculptured, and then use that to help guide you. Alright, now we're going to do this arm. We're going to make this side kind of bulge out a bit and kind of, actually, hold up. We're going to make this side just barely have a little bulge to it. And then this side is going to kind of bulge out just a bit more than that side. And then we're going to lead into that. And it's going to lead us into doing our hand. We're going to have like knuckles. Actually, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do hands right now. I can't do knuckles that good myself, so I'm not going to waste time doing that just yet. The hands are just, I'm not trying to show you how to do hands. Hands are weird in themselves. But let's do this side. Remember, bulge out just a little bit. Bulge out a lot. And then this curves into that. This also kind of curves into that. This goes down here. We get our hand drawn. Then we get our thumb. Now, yeah, that looks better, probably, hopefully, maybe, I don't know. Another thing, and your music also helps. Like, just listen to music, comment down below your favorite artist. I think I've said that already, but just to make sure. Now, for the abs, it's a little, abs have always been a little weird for me. Just trying to get them to look right and everything. There is a spot right through here when I drew that. I'm gonna draw that as best I can. Like I can't say it's gonna look good. Probably none of this looks good. I'm just trying to show you how I draw things. And I want you guys to be, if you guys watch this, I want you guys to comment, subscribe, like and subscribe. Alright, hold up. I messed that up. bottom and around the sides. Anatomy is, once you get the hang of it, anatomy kind of becomes simple. And just keep practicing at it and you'll get it eventually. Like I said, these are not the best abs at all. Oh god, he looks like he's fat. He got like a bunch of fat rolls. Something I do sometimes, I just give them, for like my art style and stuff, it just gives them, I just give them like 4 abs. Yeah, I just give my characters 4 abs sometimes to save the pain of drawing abs. Like, remember, you can do what you want. It's your world. It's like you can learn the 6 abs, or you can just give them 4 like I do. I'm just gonna give them 4, but I showed you the shape to give them 6. But I give my characters 4. And then I'm gonna get this outline, and then we're gonna go down and I'm gonna do my best on drawing feet. For me, like, feet are the best, not the best, no. The hardest thing, like hands on the leg portion. Now, the knee is gonna be kind of weird because I don't draw legs a whole lot. But like, I want to do my best to draw the legs and show you how I draw them. Then I'm gonna add like some curves here. I did that on the arms if you noticed. It's not the best example. No, we need to go here. It's not the best example. This is a bit too large, and this is a bit much. But this is a bit too small. The hands aren't perfect. This is the closest perfect hand that I've gotten out of this one, or out of both of them. The arms are a bit wonky, but um, it'll work. Like, hold up. If I turn this down to 0 opacity, it's not a bad sketch. We're going to turn all this down and turn this all the way up so we can draw the feet. Now, feet are they're difficult to draw. It's like you're drawing shoes in a way. I have not mastered the art of this because I don't draw bare feet. I've mainly drawn just shoes. Alright, now we got all this, we can simply trace what we drew under this. I'm going to shorten this just a little bit. And then we got all that. And here's our finished result. Wait. Hold up. We're going to check to see if I drew this on the wrong layer. Yes, I did. I do that a lot sometimes. I knew something was off whenever it was kind of dark. Like when the pencil was kind of light. It shouldn't have been that light. Alright. And now we have our finished product. It's not the best. I know it. I did my best to show you guys. I'm not the best artist. like I've said that a billion times in this video, but I hope you enjoyed this. I would recommend not making the thighs this size, making them about kind of this size, because making them like longer, because that should be longer. I know I'm not the best artist, but it it really just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about this. It only matters really about the shapes, about me showing you the shapes, because after that, then you just gotta connect it. Really, you just gotta make them a bit wider and then connect them. All right, that's it for this video. Bye.